Okay, now that I've drilled all the screws in through the cabinets, they're sturdy, secure, not going anywhere. You want to make sure that you have enough screws in cabinets and also in studs, so that way when you stack a bunch of dishes or whatever, they don't fall. So anyway, that's all done. I don't know if some of you have noticed, but we hung a smaller cabinet here, and the reason for that is because we're going to be putting the hood, the range hood, so it'll hang down somewhere around there, and then we're going to have the stove here, and then another base cabinet, and this will be the refrigerator. So that's why we have this layout. It kind of looks weird, not finished, but that's the reason for it. Now that I got these two doors on, you'll notice that they don't match up. They're real easy to adjust. And usually once everything is done and hung, then I'll adjust all my doors. Basically there's just screws here that you can undo, loosen, go up or down, tighten, so on and so forth. Okay, now we're going to start on this other side with the lower cabinets. First thing you want to do is see how level your floor is. So that's why I have this 8-foot level. And if you don't have an 8-foot long one, you can use a smaller one. This just saves a little bit of time because it's so long. So I'm just going to put it basically where the first cabinet's going to start. Now it's not too bad, it's pretty level, but if you can see the bubble, then this side needs to come up just a little bit, meaning this side is higher than this side over here. So I want to start on this side. It's higher, and the reason for that is because once you get down to the other end, you want to make sure everything's level. You can raise that up. If you did it the reverse and started down there, and this side's too high, then you gotta unscrew everything, start over, raise those up. So it's always good to start with your highest first. Save a lot of frustration. So basically I'm just gonna slide this one into place. So I'll just get it kind of where it needs to go. And then you just want to check everything. You want to make sure if you're against a wall like this, you have clearance so your door can open. If it won't open, then they make filler pieces that can go in here, and you can adjust it over just a little bit. Again, if you have a layout where you don't have much play, you got to be careful not to move it over too far, and then you end up in a doorway or something like that. So anyway, this one's pretty good. I can scoot it over just a little bit, just so the cabinet will open. I'm going to go ahead and do that. And again, not much. And that's pretty good right there. And then later I can come in and get a filler piece to cover this space. And it's also not going to be as bad because we're going to have the countertop and it's going to cover the top part here. So we're only going to see from there to there. So before we put the countertop on, we can put that filler piece in. Now the first thing after this is roughly in place, so I'm going to try to get it as square and level as possible. I have a few different size levels to help me do that. So if you can see that, it's actually not too bad where it is. If anything, I can shim up this side just a little bit, but not much. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And this is all pretty much trial by error. Some floors, especially with older houses, are pretty bad when it comes to being level. Sometimes you have to do some floor prep. Sometimes you have to replace floors. so on and so forth. So in old houses, shims are going to be one of your best friends. So I'm going to have that in there. I'm going to check that again. You know, it's just about perfect. So now I can go this other direction. And I'll check that. So now the back end has to come up just a little bit. You can see that. So the easiest way to do that is to use these shims. You want to put them behind the cabinet. And again, it's all just trial by error. So we'll see where that is. Looks like we have to go a little bit more. Then just slide the shim down a little bit further. This one, probably need to do the same thing. Try it again. And we're getting closer, almost there. Try that, and we'll try that one. Maybe just a hair more. That's pretty good right there. Check this other side. That is. That one is good. Make sure that the door will still open all the way, which it does. So that cabinet is ready to be screwed in. Just double check and make sure that didn't go anywhere, which it didn't. So now I can find my studs, which I already found some before I put the cabinet in. If you can see this one, I just screwed that in below the cabinet so that way, you know, I know where the stud is, and then I can draw a line. In this case, I can see behind it, so I don't need to draw a line. It just saves some time and also saves some extra holes that you may not need in the back of your cabinet if you don't hit a stud. So now I'm going to find some screws, screw this in. Okay, so this one's pretty much mounted. I still need to put a shim here and find a stud, screw that in. I'll do that here in just a second. But the next thing I'm going to be doing is getting this sink base ready to be installed. So these ones, they always need to be cut somehow because this is where you're going to have your plumbing. Sometimes, in this case, the plumbing will go up through the bottom of the floor. Other times it'll go through the wall. This one is so close to the wall, you can see right here that I do not have room to cut on the bottom and basically set the cabinet over the top of it. So instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure from this cabinet just on the left side of this water supply, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, just on the right hand side of this one. Measure the back of the cabinet same way, and then I'm also going to measure from the top down. And then this is your drain, so then I'll measure from the top, measure that out. I'm just going to make it nice square. So you're gonna, when it's all said and done, you're gonna see the back of this, but that's all right. We're gonna fill it, paint it, and it'll look fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut that and then set that in place.
As you can see, Dan just cut out the countertop. This is for the sink. We put a 1/2-inch piece of plywood, and then we'll put the countertop on it. You have to have a filler. So what we did is we liquid nailed it down, and then we nailed it to the cabinets, so that way it has a good bond to the cabinets. Now we'll go ahead and bring in the countertop. As yesterday, you guys saw him get all the cabinets installed, so we're finished there. The next thing, go ahead. We'll go ahead and glue this one down. We just use a liquid nail. Some people won't even use that. A lot of times you can use strips. I'm cheap, so I like using strips so you don't have the full sheets of everything sitting around. And then you and that's all it takes to hold the cabinets down. Once you have the filler board, the next step will be to put the countertops. We get these pre-formed countertops. You can get them at any of your lumber outlet stores, Home Depot, Lowe's, Menards. And then we'll just put it up against here. That way you get your spacing, and then we'll go ahead and cut it to size, and then we have end caps and everything that'll go on it. So right now what he's doing is we put the tape on there, so that way when you cut it, it doesn't splinter out as bad. Plus it gives him a good line to mark that we measure the cabinet. So right now he has a good line so he can see. So now he'll go ahead and cut it. Right now what Dan will do is he'll clean all the stickers off, he'll clean up the edges here, and then we glue on the edges. We did a boo-boo, we didn't have our edges today, so we'll put them on later, but you can buy these where at your cabinets. They come right with your cabinets. They have an inner and outer, so it's whatever, or I should say a right or a left. So you just buy the package and you just put them right on there, and then that way the cabinet will carry over and you'll have a nice, good, clean edge. If you're up against the wall, they make a blank that goes probably 4 inches all the way across, so that way you have them too. So you have multiple different options how you want to finish your sides of your cabinets. Sometimes you won't have to do anything because you'll be in between two walls, so you can just finish them with a nice bead of caulk. As you can see, now we have the finished product. One thing we did notice is the outlet here was in the way, so not a big deal. We'll just move it. What it was is it was for the refrigerator. We were able to get to it, access it through the basement, so we'll just drop it down to the normal floor level for it. So we'll patch that hole, but this is what your countertops. Very simple, very quick, very fast. A few hours you can have your countertops in. We lined up the center of the sink to the cabinet, or base cabinet here. What we did now is we laid this out, laid the tape, and now we drawed us a line all the way around, scribed it, so that way it gives us a cutting edge, and then we can remove this, and now we'll go ahead and pull this away, and we'll go ahead and cut that outer cabinet ring out for the sink. The reason we flip the cabinet over, the countertop, is to get this edge. You can't, the jigsaw won't fit between this edge and here, so we made a scribe mark so we could get through the counter, and then we flipped it over so that way we can get a cut. And now we'll flip the counter back over, and then we can cut everything from this side. Now his jigsaw will be able to go all the way around. We cut the hole, now we just set the sink in. The only thing we have left to do is silicone it, and then we'll clamp it down. It takes these special little clamps. I'll go ahead and pop it out. These little screws come in, oh, do it the right way. These turn around the opposite direction that you think. You go backwards, lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. And these just fit right into here, into the slot, come in, and then you just tighten it down, and then it grabs onto the edge of the wood right into here. So it'll just grab this wood lip of the counter, and that's how it locks the counter in place and keeps everything in place. Like I said earlier, we'll run a bead of silicone, usually a bead of silicone. Once you set it in, that's all you need, but these are extra insurance. And then if you ever need to pull the sink out to replace it or change it, you just pull these little clamps off and break the silicone loose. Okay, we're finished now. The only thing left to do is do the plumbing, but that'll be for a future video. We do have to caulk around the edges. Please like and subscribe to any future videos that you'd like to see, or any things that you would like us to do. Like and subscribe to LeeArnoldSystems.com.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed.